Howard Stern Show.
So women and men subjected you to abuse, right?
Right, yeah. Throughout my childhood, yeah.
And then there was a guy in high school who, like a boyfriend who gang raped you. He invited his
friends.
Yeah. I mean, this is fucking crazy.
I know. I wrote it all out the other day because I'm writing my new book, The Sensual Vegan, which isn't just about food, but being compassionate, and compassion is sexy and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I start off the first chapter with kind of just going through the motions, and it's really, I try not to go too deep into it, but then I was like, wow, I survived a lot.
Yeah.
But everybody survives a lot. Everyone has gone through stuff, and, and then you quit to judge people, but they probably had some kind of craziness go on in their life.
You don't know how people wind up where they are.
You were a 14 or 15-year-old girl living in Canada, and you're gang raped, literally gang raped. Mm-hmm. Most people don't come back from that. They really don't.
And that was after the molestation when I was young.
Right.
And then and then I had an older man try and teach me backgammon and rape me right after that. And then, then I kind of tried to stay away from men. And my first boyfriend kicked me out of moving cars. It was very violent. Tried to run me over all the time.
You're so beautiful. You think men would be so happy to be with you?
No, I think I'm a button pusher. I think I provoke people into craziness because it seems that even in my relationships, I drive people completely insane.
But I think men want to own you. Like, they feel like they want to take ownership of you, and they forget you're a human being, and you might not want to go along with the program.
No, and I go along for a while, and then when I don't want to do it anymore, I really don't want to do it anymore. I'm serious. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not a game.
Right.
Bye.
But men go, hey, wait a second, honey. You can't leave me.
Right.
I don't know what was up with the female babysitter, but
that was just weird. She died. I wished her dead, and she died the next day.
Really?
As a little kid, that happened.
It's terrible, and I thought it was magic. So then I had to deal with that. Thought I killed somebody.
Yeah, you said that what happened was, don't forget, this was happening when you were 6 to 10, so things all seem magical, and you said, gee, I hope she dies, and then she got in a car accident and died, and you were like, I'm responsible for that.
So then I definitely couldn't tell my parents.
No, and even when you were gang raped, you couldn't tell your parents, because I think you were probably afraid.
I was 12 or 13, and I had hickeys all over my body because that's what they did to me. And I went home, my dad grounded me till the hickeys were gone. So I didn't want to say anything. I was already in enough trouble. Right. I didn't want to go any further. Yeah. And that guy died, too.
He did? Mm-hmm. And what did he die from?
He was in the gang.
Oh, wow.
Some weird thing.
So getting back to this, do you think... I don't...
Anyway.
But
it's unbelievable.
Memories.
Did you ever go into therapy for what's happened to you? I mean, you were traumatized. I would imagine there was some post-traumatic stress syndrome, much like a guy who goes to war. When you're that victimized, right? Did you ever go into any kind of therapy?
Well, I have been in therapy on and off for the last 20 years with this Jungian analyst who I love, who's kind of retired now, and he's crazy, 80-year-old man who I love. And, we go into that, but, I think I've done pretty good for myself. I think I've, a happy person, and it probably has affected my choices, but I don't regret my choices.
Do you think you could ever really be in a good relationship and trust a man, or have men broken the trust too many times for you ever to be in a good, loving relationship?
I don't know, because I'm not there yet. So I'm trying to take a break and just be on my own and really laser focus on my kids, because my kids are making life decisions and big decisions, and so I've just been really focused on them and out of my last relationship. And Tommy and I have been talking a lot, so that's great.
Was there a fear when you did Playboy, when you first started to do Playboy, and you're putting it out there, you're naked,
right.
and beautiful pictures, you're a beautiful woman, and you're nude, and then in a way do you say to yourself, holy shit, I've been getting all this horrible attention from men, like real negative experiences. If I put myself out there naked, more shit's just going to go wrong. And
I thought I empowered myself. I thought I kind of felt like I turned it around and made it like
you took charge of it.
I took charge of it and said, if this is what I'm about, then here you go, and this is who I am. And
when I'm looking at your new book, and it's really unbelievably beautiful pictures of you.
Thank you. Emma Dunleavy, my friend, she's here. She took the pictures.
I was looking at these pictures, and I said, oh my God, this woman has the perfect body. Like every woman would want to have a body like this. Was this something that you orchestrated? In other words, were you an athlete? Because the kind of shape you're in, the ass is tight, the stomach is completely taut, the legs, the whole thing. Were you an athlete as a kid? Is that how
I was like athlete of the year. I was I was a gymnast. I was all those good things. That's a good thing to be as a kid, as a gymnast. that sticks with you.
Yeah.
Your body, you're a good athlete, your body kind of stays the same.
I have found women who have bodies like yours, and in a way, you guys are the freaks because most women do not look like this. Let's be honest.
Most women can't be gymnasts.
I think the key.
I can still do the splits, but we all work on that our whole lives.
But don't you think the key is actually athletics? You were on your high school volleyball team.
Yeah.
You were like if you do that kind of stuff, you got a shot at having the kind of body you have. You got to start young.
Yeah, because I'm not I don't work out now.
You don't
I
need
do
to.
Pilates here and there. I don't really work out.
Yeah. And you look back on these pictures in the book. I mean, wow. I mean, everything about you is sex, and yet you were this woman who sex has, could have ruined your childhood with people just wanting to possess you and to take you against your will and all this stuff.
Don't you often find that the sex goddesses of the age are women who are not really having the greatest time with men?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I still haven't I've got to figure that part out yet.
Yeah.
You know what, Pam? You know what shocks me? You describe yourself in high school as a nymphomaniac. Right? Like you.
Oh, I was very sexualized young, and I think that actually adds to that.
That often happens with abused children. They get
I'm
very
insatiable.
sexual.
You are, right? I mean, you wanted men in high school, right?
Well, well, not necessarily high school, but definitely after high school and definitely into my life and even now.
Were the kids in high school jealous of you? Were you the type that was so good looking and so in shape and all this, and men were really focused on you? Did the other girls in high school befriend you, or were you just sort of the outcast girl?
I still have my best friend from 7th grade, that's really close to me. And I have, no, I wasn't, I didn't think I was pretty at all in school. I didn't think I thought I was cute, but I always admired other good-looking girls and good-looking women.
Did you have boyfriends in high school, or were they just like random sort of guys?
No, I had boyfriends.
Right.
I was still very traditional, even though these things had happened. I didn't tell people, and I didn't tell my mom for years. And then she bothers her too when I talk about it, but because it hurts her feelings and she feels responsible, like she didn't protect me. But she did her best she could. I mean, she was working, my dad was working.
So in other words, when your mom learned about this abuse and stuff, it's almost like...
Well, she also said she learned about it a long time ago, and she said, you're fine now, let's just forget about it.
But isn't it weird how parents can get offended? Like with my own parents, like I'll say, oh yeah, I did a lot of drugs, and my mother will go, no, you didn't. They don't want to hear really the truth about your pain and all that kind of stuff, right? Because